we're going to use that information to do the graphs today. And so you're doing it totally different today, so I wouldn't do it ahead of time. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm waiting for it to be quiet. Thank you. Okay, so 3 to the x, we know that that graph is going to have a dotted line where? 3 to the x plus 2. At 2, right? What is this line called? The asymptote. So it's a line that the graph approaches, but it never quite gets there. It gets closer and closer to, but never quite gets there. What's the equation of that line? Y equals 2. It's the equation of a line, so it needs either an x or a y in the front there. And it's a y because it's a horizontal line. So now, quick way, now that we know a lot already about a graph like that, what would be a really easy x value to put in here? Something even easier than 0, 1. So let's put a 1 in there, and then we're going to substitute it in for x. So 3 to the 1 plus 2, what will that give us? 5. So 1, 5 is a point. We're going to plot that point. So the other point that we need is an y-intercept. Okay, so a y-intercept has what value? What x value? X value of 0. So x is 0. So we're going to substitute a 0 in for x. So 3 to the 0 plus 2. What does that give us? Three to the 0 is 1 plus 2, 3. So this is 3. So that's our y-intercept, 0, 3. So what's happening over here? Do we know what's happening over here? It's up, right, left, down? It's up. We know from doing these yesterday and today that it's going to go like that. We want to make sure we draw an arrow there. What's happening in this direction? It gets closer and closer, but never touches it. Does it ever cross it? No. So we're going to use the information that we know to draw that. To sketch it. Let me draw that a little bit better. So when we draw it so that it touches it, but technically it doesn't really touch it. It's just because it's hard to draw it. Okay, what is a hand, please, for my domain? It's very short notes today. You just have to pay attention for just a little bit. So you can do it. I know you can. So what's the domain here on this? Negative infinity to, okay, unless if we're doing it in inequality notation, negative infinity less than x less than infinity. So it's between negative infinity and infinity. So that's the domain. What is the range? It's with y. Do I need to put you guys into rows? Because there's lots of talking going on right now. Thank you. So we've got y values. Our y values go this direction. That's your range. Do we have any y values down here? No. So our y values are greater than 2. Are they ever equal to 2? No. So we have, excuse me. We have to write greater than 2 there, not greater than or equal to, because it never actually gets to 2. So really important there. Okay, so let's do the next one. Graphing y equals 4 to the x minus 3. Where's our dotted line on this one? Good. Where'd you get that from, Leah? That's right. That number right there tells you. So let's make a table. If we put a 1 in there, this group back here, what do we get when we put a 1 into that equation? Which is? So 1, 1 is 1 point. And then what's the other point that we want to find? X value of 0, which is, so we substitute a 0 in there. I'm going to call on somebody else. What's 4 to the 0 minus 3? Somebody in this group over here. Yes. So 1 minus 3 or negative 2. Good. So 0, negative 2 is our y-intercept. Okay, so over here we know that this is going what direction? Up. And then what's happening here? It's getting closer and closer, but never quite gets to that asymptote. So we don't cross it. When we draw it, we draw it so that it looks like it touches it, but it doesn't actually in real life. So what is our asymptote on this one? Omar, do you know what it is? Good. And see how he gave an equation there like that? That's what you want to do. Y equals negative 3. So what's your domain on this? That's okay. You don't have to answer. Somebody here in this group. What's the domain on this one? Negative infinity is less than x, less than infinity. Okay, and our range. One last thing. Just hold on. Just you can make it. You can make it. One last thing. Somebody in that group right there. What's the range? Y is greater than what? Negative 3. Good. Questions on that? Okay. Can I get somebody to pass?